Hello and welcome back, and we finally have another album review. But before we get into that, I do want to say a few little things. So, I've recently found a new way of making thumbnails. So, all of the 6-song reviews, so episodes 1 to 13, I think it is, are all going to be getting brand new thumbnails in a different style. I'm also going to be moving my album style review thumbnails from here on out. I'm not going to go back and change all of them because that's just too much to do. Like, I think I've done 30 plus reviews so far, so just doing the 13, and then I'm going to start using a new format from here on out. With that being said, I do have my next video after this prepared, which will be the 6-song roundup part 14, and I do have part 15 in the works. That has got 3 songs on it. I need to find 3 more to add to that before I can start that. After that, I will do a album review, and I think I might try and stick to this format of album, 2 6-songs, album, and then maybe sprinkle in some let's discuss artists here and there. So, with that being said, as you've probably seen from the title and the thumbnail, this is Escape the Fates 2021 album, I think it was, Chemical Warfare. I am doing the deluxe edition, which includes the B-sides, as they've called them, and it is 17 songs long. So, let's dive into this. For those of you that don't know, Escape the Fate is an American metal band turned rock. Very pop rock, if I'm honest, from their last couple of albums. And they're predominantly from Las Vegas, Nevada. They formed back in the early 2000s, 2004 to be more precise, and was originally fronted by now Falling in Reverse frontman Ronnie Radke, before he was kicked out. Now fronted by Craig Mabbitt. The drummer, Robert Ortiz, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, is the only founding member of the band still in there. So, they have released 3 EPs and 7 full studio albums, not including the deluxe editions. The EPs consist of Situations, 2007, There's No Sympathy for the Dead, 2006, and The Issues remixes from 2011. So, the albums. We have Dying Is Your Latest Fashion from 2006. This War Is Ours from 2008. Escape the Fate, self-titled, which also had a deluxe edition brought out in 2010. Ungrateful and a deluxe edition in 2013. Hate Me and a deluxe edition in 2015. I Am Human and deluxe edition in 2018. And Chemical Warfare deluxe and B-sides in 2021. And out of all of these, I think the only stuff I haven't heard is most of the I Am Human album, because I heard it, or I heard the singles, and I was extremely disappointed in what I was hearing, and I felt like it would have been a waste of time to listen to the full album. But with this one, I didn't hear any of these before going into it. So, yeah. Moving on. Ronnie is only on the first album, which is Dying Is Your Latest Fashion, and I think he did the 2 EPs as well, like before that, but most of that stuff is stuff that was off of the first album, I believe. And for those of you that don't know, Craig also used to sing for Bless the Fall and The Word Alive, and is currently also the vocalist for a side project band named The Dead Rabbits. He also has a solo song that I believe he released on SoundCloud called Never Be. And that's about it. So, what's the difference between the original album and the deluxe plus B-sides? Well, the regular version of the album has 12 songs. Didn't calculate the runtime, but yeah. Whereas the deluxe edition adds 3 extra tracks and 2 acoustic versions of songs that were already on the album. So, that's enough backstory and discussion. We've been whittering on for about 5 minutes here, so let's get on to the actual album review. So we're starting off with track number 1, Lightning Strike, which runs for 2 minutes and 51 seconds. The album opens with a very pop rock track, which isn't bad. It has an alright solo near the end of the track, but it's also quite repetitive and feels like it's mainly the chorus you end up hearing. Like, I swear I heard it at least 4 times in this very short space of time. I didn't really have too much else to say on that one, so we move on to track number 2, which is Invincible, featuring Lindsey Stirling, and runs for about 4 minutes and 36 seconds. So the second song does see a few, and I mean a few, hinted short screamed lines. But this again feels extremely pop rock and sounds more like a 3 Days Grace track, especially lyrically wise, more so than Escape the Fate. The feature is extremely short, and when I say extremely short, I mean it's like fucking blink and you miss it. They only get like 2 or 3 lines, I believe, before Craig starts singing over them. We get a few more screamed bits near the end of the track, but with lines such as "You're invincible like a stone to the flame," or "Stand from the ashes, again there's a fight in your eyes that burns like a fire, it's your time to rise." I really do think there is room for improvement in the lyrical regard of things with this album. Like, I know Escape the Fate have never been, wordsmiths. They've never used, like metaphors for being stuff like that I've picked up on. But surely you could have been a bit more subtle with this, because this theme carries on into track 3, which is called Unbreakable, with just the title, Invincible, Unbreakable, seeing a theme. This one runs for 3 minutes and 3 seconds, and I must say, for an album called Chemical Warfare, this is possibly the second and third song alone have not sent that message. They don't feel like Chemical Warfare. Like, if I was to call an album Chemical Warfare, I would expect at least maybe some references of warfare, or references to a struggle being like a war, or maybe some wordplay of dealing with depression, anxiety, being in the public eye. Things like that would be like warfare. Or like you could say about how people talking shit down on you and you trying to combat it is like chemical warfare. It's only going to keep fueling each other. But no, we're getting songs about how you're unbreakable, you're invincible, etc. And it isn't the ETF style I enjoy from previous albums, which is why I didn't listen to I Am Human. And I do hope things change in the next 14 tracks. Obviously, some are the same, but yeah, not great so far. We're only on track 3 of 17. Moving on, we have track number 4, Chemical Warfare, the title track, which is 3 minutes 15. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a breakup track. Like, what? You called it Chemical Warfare, and it's about a breakup. Am I the only one that's confused by that, or... Yeah. So, I was expecting something a little heavier from this one, you know, Chemical Warfare. That would make sense. You'd expect them to bring back some of their heavy styles. But instead I get lines like, my heart is full, but our love is broken, left me here with the door wide open, nothing to hold this pain I bear except chemical warfare. Then, yeah, I don't know anymore. Like, am I wrong for expecting something different? Maybe I am. Maybe this is what Escape the Fate has become. Maybe they cannot escape their fate of being left by the wayside. Because they used to be a solid band. They used to be someone you could like throw on a track. It would be heavy, but it would also be enjoyably different. Whereas this is repetitive. It's the same old shit. And we're only 4 songs into a 17-track album. Lord have mercy. Moving on. We have track number 5, which is called Erase You, which is 2 minutes and 29 seconds. This track feels like it should have had Hollywood Undead on it. With the beat and the way that it was produced and the upbeat chorus and lyrics about drinking to forget someone and like using alcohol as a way to erase them from your memory. But again, it didn't feel like Escape the Fate. I don't know what it is, but this new stuff they're dropping does not sound like them. Well, obviously it sounds like them, but what I'm saying is, like, it sounds like it should have been made for somebody else, but they've got their hands on it, if that makes sense. Yeah, moving on. Track number 6, Not My Problem, featuring Travis Barker. 3 minutes 34 seconds. So, obviously, Travis is on the drums here. Basically, not that you can really tell, it doesn't sound much different to any of the other drum work on this album or prior albums. And am I the only person that feels like a Travis Barker feature has lost any and all value to it? Like, don't get me wrong, I respect the dude. Like, he's been through some shit. He's a good drummer. He has talent. But he's featured on so many songs over the years. Like, I couldn't tell you how many songs he's featured on. But I feel like if it's a pop punk track or a pop rock track, it's probably had a Travis Barker feature on it, even if it's not listed. Like, you can go into the credits and it'll be like, Travis Barker on drums, and you're like, oh, yeah, makes sense. You know, but, yeah. The gist of this song is, I'm not helping you with your problems, sort that shit out yourself, basically. The bridge was alright, but repetitive, like most of the stuff we've already encountered on this album. And so far, you know, like, give you an inch, you took a mile. The more you bitch, the less I smile. Repeated 4 times. And that is the chorus bridge bit. Yeah. Moving on, we have track number 7, Burn the Bridges, which is 3 minutes 41 seconds. I made a fuck up. Apologies. Okay, so yeah, this song's alright. Again, it feels very similar to the prior songs, but a little better. And when I say a little better, it is a little better. Again, it has its repetitive elements. and heavier elements, thankfully, in this track, but that's about it. And so far, this album is extremely weak, in my opinion. Like, what happened to when they used to drop an album and it would be sick, heavy tracks with clean vocals, like for the chorus, and then you'd get one or two anthemic or ballady tracks on the album. Like, that was the layout that Escape the Fate were known for. They would have bangers, and then you'd have like a ballad or an anthem where it would be like a softer, much more heartfelt song, like, I don't know, fucking, oh, what's that one that, there's a particular song I'm thinking of, but I cannot remember the name of it. I'll drop it in the comments once I find it. But yeah, instead we're getting an album full of songs like that, and one or two screamed lines in a song if we're lucky. Yeah. Moving on, we have track number 8, which is called Demons, and is 2 minutes 55. So another shorter track here, which is a little bit quicker paced. Let me just... Yeah, I quicker paced. I preferred the lyrics on this track. It had a solid solo in it, some actual screamed repeated lines after that, which were, "My demons dance at night. It's nothing simple. It's nothing simple. It's nothing but simple," but it was a much better song. Like, it actually felt like Escape the Fate, other than Escape the Fate covering 3 Days Grace or fucking, I don't know, a band like them. You know, it's one of the stronger songs on the album, which says a lot. Moving on, we have track number 9, and it is called Hand Grenade. It is 2 minutes 41 seconds. From the start, the drums were upbeat and a quicker pace, but the vocals didn't match that energy. They were really toned down, really somber, really, you know, almost like lullaby-y. And the thing that they labelled as a breakdown, when you think of a breakdown, you traditionally think of, you know, someone screaming or going bleh, or, you know, something to signal that the song's gonna ramp up. Instead, we just got more clean singing for the breakdown. Yeah, a clean sung breakdown. And the line, "Bombs away, fuck you, there's no escape," repeated twice as that breakdown, which was followed by an okay solo to end the song. Yeah. Again, you can probably tell I'm not enjoying this album review, and I fucking hope to God that the next album I review is actually good. But we'll get into what I'm thinking of reviewing after this. Moving on, we have track number 10, so we're finally getting to the like final set of tracks here. So this is called Ashes, brackets Broken World, and runs for 3 minutes and 6 seconds. This song is kind of okay. It's not phenomenal. The bridge is solid, so is the following solo. You seen the theme here yet? An alright bridge, a decent solo, and that's about it. And very repetitive. Like the bridge, for example, is, "This motherfucker held me down underwater, tried to suffocate me to an early fate, put me through the ringer and you pulled the fucking trigger. I will see your body shiver as I'm rising from the grave." Which, I mean, it's better than prior tracks, but those lyrics are extremely surface level. Like, let's forget track 11 for a second. I'm going to go through this, right? Instead of saying, this motherfucker held me down underwater, tried to suffocate me to an early fate, like, that's way too drawn out. Why didn't you do something like, this motherfucker held me underwater, trying to seal my fate? You could have cut out the suffocate to an early fate, and you could have put, this motherfucker tried to hold me underwater and seal my fate. It's shorter, it's a bit more concise, to the point. Fuck, if you wanted to, you could say they tried to hold me underwater as bubbles escape, sealing my fate. You know, make it sound like you're putting up a bit of a fight. You're fucking trying to gasp for breath. Put me through the ringer and you pulled the fucking trigger. Again, it's not great. Like, you could have said, I don't know, I wouldn't have said put me through the ringer for a fucking start. Like, how about just pulled the fucking trigger? And then what's, like, I will see your body shiver as I'm rising from the grave. First of all, shiver. 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 If you see somebody rising from a grave, you're not going to shiver like a cold wind has blown down your back. You are going to fucking freeze, shit yourself and run. But I guess that isn't going to fit in the lines of a song. So, I mean, you could have said something like, I don't know, I'll see your body shiver as I'm rising from the grave. How about, I'll rise from the grave and make you take my place? Make it sound like you're coming back from the dead to seek vengeance upon the person that put you in said grave? That's just like something off the top of my head. That one there, I would probably have to sit down, like, you know, scribble some shit out to come up with a better line. But, you know, the other ones, my point stands. And I'm getting sidetracked, and I apologise. We're going to move on. Track 11, My Gravity, 3 minutes 20. The opening line was delivered in a tone and style that reminded me of Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus. Like, it is literally delivered in a very similar way to that. Like, if you go and listen to it yourself, you might hear it, but... Or maybe I'm just fucking losing my mind, but that is exactly what I heard. It sounded like Party in the USA. So, yeah. Yet again, it was repetitive, dull. The chorus was, you keep pulling me down to your level, or you're the magnet, I'm the steel, or you keep holding me down like the devil. Yeah, it's just very amateur writing. Like, I feel like... it feels like their heart wasn't in this album. You know, like, I write a lot of fucking shit. A lot of people don't get to see what I write, but I write a lot of shit. And I don't think I've ever had a chorus where every line started with you, or your, or you are, or something like this. Like, you know? And also, you're the magnet, I'm the steel. That's like when you're in fucking primary school and you say to someone, you're a dumbass, and they go, I'm rubber, you're glue. Like, who told you that was a good line? I don't know anymore. Track 12, Walk On, 3 minutes 43, sorry. This is the last one if you're smart enough to listen to the basic edition of the album. But for us dumbasses that are listening to the deluxe edition, there's still 5 more songs to go. And they're ending on a soft ballad style track, but there's an okay short solo, and this song is over extremely quickly. And at this point, I had kind of checked out the album. I did not care. I was not enjoying it. I just wanted to move on to an album that actually might be fun to listen to. But we're not done. We have 5 more songs, so let's get into those. Okay, so for those of you that are on the deluxe edition and the B-sides, your first song is Around the Sun featuring Brandon Saller, which runs for 2 minutes 35 seconds. This one, like I said, it features Brandon Saller. For those of you who don't know, he is one of the members of Atreyu. I think I pronounced that right. It's a name that I've always struggled to kind of say correctly. I never know if I'm actually pronouncing it right. But the lyrics of this seem to be about a birthday. You know, stuff like, another year has passed, whether it was good or bad. Don't be scared by the starting gun. Here's to another year around the sun. It also features, again, a rather short feature from Brandon Saller, but it was a solid feature. Like, you can actually discern his vocals from Craig's vocals, and they actually kind of work quite well together. And personally, if I'm being honest, this one song was better than most of what was on the actual main album. Yeah. Moving on, we have track number 14, which is Shut Up and Listen, 3 minutes 18. This one starts a little bit more upbeat and more effort feels like it's gone into it. Once again, it's better than, you know, most of the stuff on the main album. The ending feels like it has a bit more aggression, a bit more fire inside of it, and I liked it. It actually was a much better song. That should have been on the main album. Track number 15, Over It. 3 minutes 31 seconds. 3 for 3 so far with decent intros, but this one has Craig open softer, and then it actually picks things up a little bit, and then it lulls and grows again. But it's, again, better than the stuff on the main album. And the end of this track was, honestly, I felt it was a lot better than some of the endings to other tracks as well. It felt a bit more ramped up, a bit more, you know, energy, a bit more alive. So the final 2 songs are the acoustic versions of songs off of the full-length album. So track number 16 is Invincible acoustic featuring Lindsey Sterling, 2 minutes 59, blah de blah de blah. So this rendition is rather good, actually. And there was a slight symphonic tone in the background that I could hear. And lyrically, it's the exact same. But I feel like the lyrics for this song fit a more stripped back acoustic, slowed down, you know, style song with some symphonic undertones rather than the hard rocky pop rock sort of track it was trying to be originally. But yeah, again, this one, preferred it to the original version. And moving on to the final one, we have track number 17, Not My Problem acoustic version, 2 minutes 27 seconds. So, final song, thankfully. And again, this one is also actually much more fitting for an acoustic setting. If I'm honest, again, preferred this to the original version of the track. Obviously, I know acoustics are more of a deluxe edition thing, and they can't really go on a full-length album, but these ones definitely were the correct choices for acoustic renditions, I feel like. So, with this closing in on half an hour, my final thoughts. Overall, the album was a sizable disappointment, compared to prior albums, which I enjoyed much more. Obviously, I never listened to I Am Human, but stuff from Hate Me backwards, they were all really good. Hate Me was okay. The mix was a bit weird on it, but you know what I mean? Like, their prior stuff has been solid. But yeah, these last few albums, subpar. From what I've heard, like Human is very similar to this, like very pop rock, radio rock. I haven't listened to it, but I may torture myself with it just to see if it's as bad as this, or if this is just a unlucky flop. Like, I was hoping for a return to form, but alas, no such luck. I'm not going to be harsh on the rating. Out of 10, which is what I work on, I'm giving it a 6.5. I feel like this probably is one of my lowest scores I've ever actually given to date, but it's kind of deserved, I feel like. Top songs? Yeah, for an album with not many standout songs, it's kind of easy to pick a minimum of 4 to at least scrape some top songs. So if you want to try anything off of this album, the 4 that I would recommend are Around the Sun, featuring Brandon Saller, Over It, Demons, and Invincible. There we go. Invincible, acoustic version featuring Lindsey Sterling. If you want to listen to this album, let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree. Maybe don't do it all in one sitting. That could be my advice to you guys. Don't know why I covered my mic. But with that being said, this is finally over. I am going to go and do 6 Song Roundup episode 14 for you guys, so you have some other stuff to enjoy. I'm going to work on 6 Song Roundup 15 as well, try and find some more tracks to throw in with that. And last but not least, I'm debating on whether or not to do the new Kendrick Lamar album as a review. If it's not that, I'm probably going to be doing the Worm Shepherd album. They're my 2 I'm kind of fighting between, so thoughts and opinions would be appreciated. Don't forget to check out my Twitch at Raven7131. Cornish Rebels Gaming over here on YouTube, which I run with my friends. And I will see you guys in the next video. I apologise that this one was such a dud. Stay safe out there.